Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cinema Scrutiny podcast. This is episode 28. We are slowly exiting the roaring 20s of Cinema
Mhm.
Scrutiny.
We're headed for
Yep,
Great Depression.
that's right. That's right. I am screaming for help as my 20s are coming to an end and I have no answers. But that's my own problem. Of course, I am your host, Billy, here with my co-host, John.
How's it, everybody? Hope everyone had a good week. I know we've been having pretty good weeks so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting. You know, the snow is still coming. It just won't stop. It is relentless. Um, but that's just the New England lifestyle. Well, I'm not really New England, but I'm tri-state area. Let's call it that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still snowing up here in New England. Honestly, I didn't even know it was supposed to snow today, and it just came down for probably like 8 hours straight. So.
Yep, same here. It was, you know, it's winter, but it's February, so the poles are shifting. What do I know?
Mm-hmm.
But we should just get right into the news. We have some topics to cover here, or a good amount of topics to cover. Pretty exciting week. Let's kick it right off with some news that dropped this morning through Vanity Fair. They got the exclusive on the Jared Leto Joker pictures for Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, the Variety article talks a little bit more like spoiler heavy on where the Joker's going to show up. I don't think we should get into that so much. I don't know if we want to. Yeah, I don't think we want to spoil anything for anybody. But we have these pictures here. Our first look. I know we had that blurry picture last week. But now we finally get to see his face. It looks like the tattoos are gone. And his face is a little bit more scarred up. And the hair's longer. It's an interesting look. What do you think of all this, John? What do you think about this new look for Jared Leto?
You know, I honestly forgot that he had tattoos, like a lot.
Yeah.
Because now I am realizing he actually should have that like giant smile on the hand or whatever it was.
Right.
Where he would like put it over someone's face, make him smile.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is crazy. Like he looks like a butcher, but I think what it is it's like a broken down straight jacket or something.
Right.
It's really fucked up. Like
yeah, it's pretty horrific.
Yeah, this is like in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah.
It's much more in line with what I think the Joker should be. And I think that this is also much more reactionary to the Joker film and the success of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially with the longer hair and, like, the kind of toned down makeup.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that concerns me, and this might just be literally the image, which probably is a actual, like, promotional still.
Yeah.
Is just that it looks like I don't believe for a second that he's in a room. Like it looks very much green screened, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a very odd, like stone boxy room. Of some kind.
Which again, I think this is probably promotional, but it does also remind me of the fact that they shot these scenes, I believe, recently. Like these new scenes are for the director's cut. They weren't like originally filmed, and I just I'm worried that there wasn't that much money in like those those extra reshoot scenes. So I'm afraid that it could end up like the beginning of Justice League with Superman on the phone.
True.
But
yeah, I don't know. This look, it reminds me of. Do you know that old Batman animated show that they had where the Joker was like he had the long hair, and he was like he was like barefoot. He ran around and like he had the long hair with
no,
kind of had like a Rasta look or something.
I've never seen that, but that sounds kind of whack.
I'm currently looking it up right now. But it's very like reminiscent of that.
Yeah, that's fair. It reminds me a little bit of when Joker is absolutely destroyed in Ninja Batman.
Yeah,
Like there's like a scene like halfway through the show where he's kind of like at his low, and he looks like this. He looks like really kind of like tattered and shaken up.
Yeah, I just sent you a picture of the thing on Discord, but that's him with the suit. But it's very like the hair is what really makes me think of it.
I'm going to jump to the link.
Sure.
Holy, that's super blurry because it's a big screen that we're on. I'm going to zoom out a little bit.
Rip. It's probably
So-
stretching the image.
Yeah, no, that's okay though. So this was this was like the Joker the whole show, or is this just one episode?
So that's him when he got the suit. When the show first started, he had like a straight jacket, like that. Like his shirt was like a straight jacket or something.
Yeah, this is a wild ass look for the Joker.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Batman. I want to say it was Batman Unlimited, if that's even correct. But it was like a very like futuristic style. I think it was like the early 2000s or something.
Yeah,
I just sent you the straight jacket picture. It's even weirder. But yeah, very strange. Very like he looks.
is that even a straight jacket?
I don't want to say a gorilla, but you know.
No, this, what the fuck?
Did he like? I remember in the show he used to like he ran around like an ape and he like jumped around and it was very like acrobatic. It was strange.
Yeah,
Very
this has a
strange.
definitely like late '90s like Static Shock kind of vibe to me.
Yeah, I think it came out around that time. Very strange, but
Yeah.
I
Back
think
to
Jared Leto
Leto.
looks better than that. But
Yeah.
that was just my first thought.
That's
I
fair.
think the hair looks like a wig, kind of.
Probably is 100%.
Probably, but I like the scars on his face. I know a lot of people were talking about like the tattoos are gone. Thank God,
Mhm.
it's the best decision they ever made. I never had a problem with the tattoos.
Mm.
I think I thought the face tattoos were a little bit much. You know, like the damage on his forehead, and he had like a teardrop tattoo or something,
Yeah,
which I thought was a little extra, but um, you know, it fit the theme they were going for, I guess, with like the gang ties or something.
yeah.
It was
I-
more of like a gang related than mob related Joker, I
Yeah.
guess.
I wonder why he is in prison or why he is where he. I don't know. He might not even be in prison. Obviously, I don't know. We don't
Yeah.
know the thing unless like might have been in the Variety article, like you were saying.
It is in the Variety article. I
Alright.
did read it. I spoiled myself because I couldn't help myself. They gave more details. There's another look in the movie, other than this look that
Mm.
they're showing, that they also talk about, which sounds also pretty sadistic, but kind of crazy. I won't talk about it though. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who doesn't want to know anything before going into the movie. But it should be interesting. I know Zack Snyder is trying to give fans with this Joker. He's trying to give fans like a meaningful Joker and Batman interaction of some kind.
Sure, yeah.
So, based on what I read, it sounds like it's going to be interesting. But we're just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. Based off the look, I'm excited. I'm interested. I think it's an upgrade, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. This makes me much more interested in watching Justice League because it's still a question of what is actually being changed and added to the Snyder Cut. And like this seems like a really intense decision to add and like something that could actually entice me to come back for the 4 hours.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be cool. And however they incorporate that second look or second costume is definitely going to be something special, something we've not seen before. So, it should be cool.
Mhm.
But I guess moving on to our next topic, unless you have anything else to say about Jared Leto's.
No, I'm all good.
Okay. So of course we had the Super Bowl a couple days ago. Notorious movie trailer opportunity, and it looks like, well, we got a Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer for the first time. I think this is the first full-length trailer.
We definitely got another trailer of some. It might not have been full length, yeah, but we
I
definitely.
think it
got
was like a
something.
teaser or something, like a short look.
Yeah.
But this is our first. I think this is our first full-length trailer, and it's pretty good. It looks like they're definitely doing the buddy cop style here, with the two of them.
Mhm.
We got a little peek of I can't remember the villain's name.
Baron
He's got, like,
Zemo.
Yeah, but he's gonna have like the purple mask this time. He's gonna have like the full costume.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be really cool. Like, I'm actually really interested in that. Um, and like bringing him back because like I thought he was one of the better villains of like the whole Marvel universe that they've done so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think he definitely does the most fucked up shit.
Yeah, as far as like an Earth-based villain, I think he does the most damage.
Yeah,
Like,
they never really go back to it, and I feel like it doesn't necessarily set the tone for like how he operates for the rest of the film.
yeah,
But Civil War opens with him like hanging somebody upside down with their head in like the basin of a sink,
yeah,
and then he just fills the sink. Like he just literally turns the water on and walks away. And then like that dude literally drowns upside down in the sink, and then like we
yeah,
totally forget about that. Never happened. Like,
yeah,
like nothing like that ever happens again in the MCU. But like what the
yeah.
fuck?
It was like a very like sadistic kind of.
It was insane.
Yeah, yeah, like very Black Ops esque, you know.
Yeah.
And I love that theme that they run with for like the Captain America movies of like, espionage and spy shit. Like it's very cool. I love the looks of everybody's new costume. You know, the Winter Soldier and Falcon's new suit.
Agreed.
I think they both look good. The action looks exciting as always. Um, it looks like Peggy Carter's granddaughter is returning. I can't remember her name. It's not Sharon Carter, but
I think it is.
Is it? Oh well, what do I know? But she's coming back, as she should. She's part of the franchise. My only wish for the show is that I hope that the episodes are longer than WandaVision's episodes.
You know, I believe that I did actually see that. I think they are 45 minutes.
Excellent. I love that.
Yeah. That also, though, that what's it called? That encapsulates whatever the like last week on and like the 8 minutes of credits, because WandaVision literally has like 10 minutes of credits.
Yeah, they do. It's like it's kind of annoying, but I understand why it has that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad they get a longer runtime with this though, because it feels like it needs that. You know.
Yeah. Well, this show's also supposed to be, I believe, shorter.
It's probably going to be 6 episodes.
Yeah, because it is 6 episodes according to the article.
Yeah.
But also WandaVision right now, I believe, is targeting 8, and then there's also this weird rumor that there's like a secret 9th episode, but that just sounds like weird BS.
Yeah, why would they do that?
Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
But I think people are just excited, and like in general, and again, we'll talk about it at our season end review, but like the show subverts a lot of expectations.
Yeah, definitely.
So people are just getting angsty. But this also does actually, we got the solid release date again, and that is like double down. It's going to be, I believe, March 19th.
Yep.
And that actually only gives us 1 week break between the end of WandaVision and this.
Yeah. I'm totally okay with that, honestly.
Yeah.
I like my Marvel content, so it just continues. The train continues. I assume we're probably going to get like a longer break between that show. Maybe we'll also get a week. Well, actually, maybe it will just be a week, because if it's 6 episodes once a week, then yeah, that seems like it would line up with May, because I'm pretty sure Loki's in May.
Yeah, I think Loki's trying to hit May, and I believe the Black Widow also is still slated to come out in May.
Yeah, May or June, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to get pushed back into like the middle summer.
Yeah, I think it'll be middle summer or fall.
Yeah, really depends on how fast them vaccines get out.
Yeah, that's true. I'm hoping we start to see some level of normalcy by like the end of summer and the fall, but we can only hope. It seems to be moving as fast as it can right now, so we'll see. I'm excited for the show, and I'm glad it'll be a nice change of pace from WandaVision, because WandaVision's pretty unique in what it is. So
yeah, I agree. I think that WandaVision, like both of these shows have the budget, right? But I think that WandaVision still feels like a TV show.
Yeah.
Which is obviously literally the point of the show.
Yes.
It's like framed around television sitcoms and television as like a medium. But this seems like it's just more so that it happens to be broken up into episodes.
Right.
So I'm really hoping it has more of like the MCU aesthetic the entire time. Like it's more of a this will be more of a showcase of like this is what we can do when we're making like MCU like I guess more normal MCU content.
Yeah. I think it's definitely going to reflect more of like a mini series type of feel,
Yeah.
and like you said, the MCU content I think will be more in the forefront. But it's exciting. It's good to have it back because it's been literally over a year, I think, since we've gotten anything besides WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a nice return to form for them.
Yeah. Agreed.
But speaking of returning, we have some news from Tom Holland here. This was also broken this morning, this story. I woke up and I scrolled through the Twitter trending page as I do to see some, just worldly news, whatever's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the Tom Holland fan base was thirsting over his Esquire magazine photo shoot.
Which
It was
like
like,
low key, man's just throwing it out there.
oh, he looks good.
It's a
Looks
great
good.
shoot.
He's showing his competition with Timothy Chalamet. The teen heartthrob war is here, and Tom Holland is swinging for the fences. But that's not what this story is about. So he had obviously a photo shoot with Esquire and an interview, and of course I had to ask him about Spider-Man 3, all the rumors that are coming out, and he flat out is denying that any of the other Spider-Men are showing up. And on top of that, he also says that he doesn't know anything about the movie, and he shot like 8 weeks of it. So I don't know, Tom. I think you're lying. I think you're lying about that.
Do I believe the funny thing is he says that what's it called? He's like, I don't think that they could keep a secret that large from me. Like
Yeah.
if they were returning. First of all, that's cap.
Yes.
They hid the entire plot of Infinity War and Endgame from this dumbass for like 6 years.
Yeah.
For literally months, like no years even. What was it, like a 2 year? No, it was a 1 year gap between the movies.
I think. Well, they shot him back
But
to
they shot them
back.
back to back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
And
this-
I know a lot of the cast talked about with Endgame. They're like, we didn't know anything. Like everybody got a different script.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know shit about anything. So like I guess I like believe that at the time, but also like in my head, I'm like, how did they direct these actors properly without them all knowing everything?
Yeah, I think more so it's just that they got like only the script that like they only got like their parts of the script.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, like if they weren't in a scene, they just didn't get it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Which limits more of the gradual concept, but also it's all you need to get your character down.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking about this, and wasn't didn't Tom Holland like notoriously like reveal or leak some MCU secrets like over the years as like, and it became like a meme that like Tom Holland like can't keep his mouth shut,
yeah,
but he
nothing.
said shit on accident or whatever.
Yeah, not the only thing that I like super remember was he leaked some Marvel posters because
Oh, that's right.
and like you can see it on Instagram. Like he takes the piece, like he picks up the piece of paper out of the box, and like he's
Yeah, the
reading
back
the
of
one
it
side.
says, "Don't show anyone."
Yeah, the backside is like a secret Marvel corpo property, and then he got canceled. And whether or not that's actually even real, I guess could be argued. But
Right.
I genuinely do. One, I do believe that they could hide it from him. That's just that was my point. But two, I also think he's full of crap.
Yeah.
Like these rumors are so strong in so many directions, and also just 2 weeks ago, or maybe even last week, he was like, "This is the most ambitious superhero movie for like of all time."
Yeah, like ever.
Yeah, and it's like, is it though? Like, if it's just you and you guys are just continuing the normal BS, like I don't believe that for a second.
Right. I mean, it's uh, it's notorious, or it's regular common practice in Hollywood that all these actors are under NDAs. They cannot talk about anything.
Hmm.
Um, I remember, Kevin Smith took a visit to the Star Wars Force Awakens set when they were filming that, and he went through like he talked about how he went through like 4 checkpoints and signed like 4 different NDAs, just they really make sure you can't say anything
Yeah.
because they can't force any leaks. Um, and even if it was a joke that Tom Holland leaked stuff by accident before, um, he knows that he can't say anything, and he has to deny everything,
Hmm.
even if he knows it or not. So that's just his obligation as an actor and being under contract with such a big property. Um, so am I surprised that everyone's reporting that Tom Holland's denying everything? No, because that's what everyone does. That's what the trades do. Um, but I don't doubt for a second that he's definitely lying because there's too many, like you said, like there's too many rumors going around. Like there's too many people talking. Um, I feel like if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are coming back, like there's a reason that it got leaked because there's probably so many people, you know, in the works behind it that are like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I can't believe they're doing this. It's one of those things that it's just gonna be hard to not let out. So I don't know. I just think it's funny. Uh, you know, Tom Holland has to lie, but I saw some people saying like Tom Holland shouldn't lie to the public. It's like, but he has to. Like, it's his deal. Like, it's his contract. He
Yeah.
can't just spoil shit like out in the open like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting, but I don't know. Uh, I guess moving on to other MCU news. A little quick MCU news. We found out that the writer of they signed on a writer for the Blade movie that's coming out with Mahershala Ali. Um, and reading this Hollywood Reporter article, it looks like Mahershala Ali was also involved in picking this writer, which I think is kind of cool. Um, kind of a flex for him that he gets to have a little bit of a say.
Hmm.
Uh, but it looks like they got the writer from HBO's Watchmen, or she was on the writing team. Her name is Asi Kufaur. I don't know. I really hope I didn't botch that, but I probably did.
His first name is
Um,
Stacy.
Stacy, yeah. Thank you. Oh my god. I'm like, well, okay. So everywhere else in the article, they don't say Stacy.
Yeah, they just use her last name.
Yeah, but like, is it her last name or is it her middle name? I don't know. I'm botching it. I've already botched it. It's
Yeah.
over. We're live. Um, but she is, like I said, she worked on the writers' room in HBO for Watchmen, which was super critically acclaimed, um, heavily. I didn't see that show yet. Uh, I saw the movie that Zack Snyder made years back, but I still need to watch the show. Should watch it. It's like 8 episodes.
Yeah,
Um,
it's 8 episodes, and it also has a ton of awards. And I believe Obama put it on his like top 10 TV
he
shows
did,
for the year list.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it's awesome that she was involved in that, and she was also involved in uh, one of the shows. The show's called Pen 15, which
Hmm.
was like a comedy series. She got an Emmy for that. And before all that, she was doing playwrights in New York.
Hmm.
Um, but this is good, you know. I think it's big score for Marvel getting some talented DC writers.
Hmm.
Um, I'm pretty sure Watchmen's DC, but I don't know. It's good news all around, I think. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I mean, I think what you were saying earlier that Mahershala Ali got to actually like help decide.
Hmm.
I believe that hardcore, just because I remember the actual only reason that we're even getting this Blade movie is because he called up Kevin Feige and he was like, "I want to do a Blade movie,"
Yeah.
and Kevin Feige was like, "Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay, like that sounds fucking sick. Let's get you in on that."
Yeah.
And I agree. Like this, to me, this has such a there's so much like epic potential here
Yeah.
because we're talking about coming off of Watchmen as a brilliant show, and like a heavily nominated, award-winning uh, production. Like there's just so much like potential for Blade to be something really unique and amazing.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, I don't know. Like also, I think I was having a discussion with somebody about WandaVision and how it really like goes in a very unique direction compared to the rest of the MCU catalog.
Right.
And it really comes down to the fact that like after Endgame ended and the Infinity Saga like fully ended,
Yeah.
there's really this complete weight off your shoulders about like how the universe needs to feel and what your movie can do and how it confines to the rules to fit within the Infinity Saga.
Right.
And I feel like now like the bottle's just, the genie's out of the bottle. Pandora's
Yeah.
box is open, whatever metaphor you want to use. It's like the possibilities are just so endless.
Hmm.
And, obviously we're going to talk about it even more when WandaVision ends and we get to do the review. But like that show's doing things that I genuinely never believed the MCU would ever do in a million years.
Right.
And it's brilliant. And if you can take that level of like comic book insanity and then put
Yeah.
it, because Watchmen does that. Watchmen is also really kind of a whack ass like storyline.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but like we take the writing there, and we give it to a vampire slaying swordsman. Like,
Right.
a vampire slaying vampire, I guess, is more whatever. But like, yes, like I want the Daywalker to, like, let's win
pretty
an
sick.
award. Let's do it.
I was thinking about Blade recently. Of course, watching WandaVision. No spoilers or anything, but I was thinking about, like you said, they kind of have this weight off their shoulders to be more creative with the properties in the universe. Um, and I was thinking about like, what if they do a crazy twist on Blade and like he's not a vampire hunter, but he hunts mutants for the government,
Oh,
and like so like maybe he is a mutant or like he's half mutant or something like that, and he has to hunt mutants for the government because of the Sokovia Accords and all that shit. I thought that'd be kind of fun to mess with, but
yeah, that would be pretty wild.
I mean, obviously, I don't know how much they want to get away from the vampire thing because the vampire thing is pretty sick, by itself.
Yeah, the vampire thing definitely is super cool. And it does really feel like the whole thing, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
But you're right, because like I do agree that it will be very hard to convince me that like, oh yeah, for the past 15 years and the past like 20 movies, there's also been thousands of vampires.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's just going to be one of those things that either like they might have to do some explaining,
hmm
or they could do that. They could do like one of those those Marvel MCU transitions where they kind of like meld it to fit the universe.
yeah.
Like maybe he hunts scrolls after Secret Invasion.
Oh, that'd be cool
You
too.
know what I mean? So it could be that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, either way, I'm interested. I think I'm almost positive there's going to be some kind of blending to fit the MCU mold.
Mhm.
But whatever that is, I'll be excited to see. Especially since, Mahershala Ali is, I've always praised him. He's really, really good.
Yeah,
Um,
banger actor.
yeah, and seeing his interest in the property and it's like, I want to do something crazy here. It's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like you said, let's win an award.
Oh
Like
yeah, oh yeah.
all about it, all about it. Um, but speaking of people signing on to projects, nice transition.
Mhm.
We talked about Borderlands. I don't know if we talked about it last week, but the week before.
Probably 2 weeks ago. Maybe
Yeah,
last week. I
so
don't know. Time flies.
time's flying. We had some casting news about Borderlands. We got more.
Mhm.
Looks like Jamie Lee Curtis is signed on here, and she's going to play Tannis.
Mhm.
Uh, and she's like, I mean, like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm not a big Borderlands follower or fan, but I read in the article she's like a side character that pops up through like all of the games.
Yeah, yeah. She comes up a lot in the first game as like one of the main like quest givers.
Yeah,
Uh, she's probably in three. I didn't really like three too much, but like I remember her vaguely being in it.
yeah,
But yeah, she's like a scientist. I mean, like what the article says, a scientist archaeologist who she's like very interested in vaults. There's like some sort of like vault archaeology like name, like a vaultologist or something stupid. But
yeah,
like basically, she looks for these powerful artifacts and she understands them and she helps guide the characters to the vault.
yeah. Well,
So
I think it's pretty cool. I think like seeing Jamie Lee Curtis get cast, I think it fits kind of the comedy elements a little bit. I think she fits that mold that
mhm.
it seems like they're trying to make. Um, I mean, it's not really a mold. It's really just like Kevin Hart's involved, so like there's going to be comedy.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean,
Jamie Lee
Borderlands
Curtis
again,
is
very funny franchise.
right, right, like we were talking about. Um, but Jamie Lee Curtis is no stranger to comedy. I think she's been around the block.
Mhm.
And I like her as an actress. I feel like I don't see her enough. Um, I'm not like I'm not really like a big fan of like uh scream queens, or I'm pretty sure she's in Glee too. Like I haven't
No,
watched it yet.
Glee is the other lady that everyone says looks like Jamie Lee
Yeah,
Curtis.
it looks like her. Yeah, but I haven't like seen Scream Queens or anything. But Freaky Friday, I love that movie. That's like the classic Jamie Lee Curtis movie. I feel like.
Yeah, Jane Lynch is who you're thinking of from Glee.
Yep, that's who it is. Um, Another botch, but we're live. Um,
No, it's cool. They look literally there are like so many memes online about this. People mix them up all the time.
it's crazy. Um, but this is cool. I really like the cast is shaping up. It's coming together. It's all coming together.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. I think this is like it's very surprising to hear that a video game movie is getting like every time they announce a cast member, I'm like that's like a solid actor that has like potential to make this a very solid film.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
And it's like higher level actors than what we normally get for like video game movies.
yeah, I
You know,
agree.
so it's good to see. I'm excited to see what the rest of the cast looks like because I feel like we're only missing the other two main characters, right, on the team still.
Yeah, we're missing two main characters, Brick and Mordecai,
Yeah,
and then we are also missing a bad guy. Which in
right.
the first
Okay.
game, there's really no like central bad. I mean, maybe Mr. Torg is like one central bad guy, but like to me, there wasn't really much of a story in the first game. Like
Yeah,
the second game is where it really becomes like all about Handsome Jack, and he's like very iconic to the franchise.
yeah,
So we'll see what they end up doing. We'll see if they do the time jump and like include Handsome Jack anyway, or if they
hmm
really just try to do the first game again as
yeah.
like a movie.
I guess we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see what the rest of the cast is going to be. I think it'll definitely like it's going to be a huge selling point. I feel like at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Um, and our last story today for news we have is Dungeons and Dragons also announced some new cast members today. We're not today. It was a few days ago. But we talked about this before. Chris Pine is going to be like starring in this
Mm-hmm.
project, which is hype because Chris Pine is Chris Pine.
Yeah, great actor.
Um, yeah. So it looks like we have Michelle Rodriguez has signed on, as well as Justice
Justice.
Smith.
Yeah.
So this is good. I really like Michelle Rodriguez. She's another actress who I feel like doesn't get enough work.
Yeah. So, what's it called? The reason that I wanted to put this one in is actually that, to me, unfortunately, and I do not mean this in a mean way,
Yeah.
but these two actors being added signal to me that this is going to be a bad film.
You think so?
Kinda. I mean, Justice Smith. I'll be honest. I don't really know a lot of his work outside of what's it called, Detective Pikachu,
Yeah.
which like I liked him in, but whatever. So that's fine. We're gonna put him to the side. Michelle Rodriguez, I feel like has the same kind of pull as like a Mia Jovovich or whatever her name is.
Sure.
Um, where
She's kind of a
it's
niche actress. She kind of like does fall to that category of like super 50-50 type of things.
yeah. I mean, well, like I'm trying to name like a movie that she's in that's like. I mean, they're not bad, right? Like she's in the original Resident Evil,
Yeah,
and like it's good, but she's very much playing this one thing.
right.
And kind of like Jovovich gets cast, like she was in Monster Hunter, she's in Resident Evil. Like they're like very similar roles that she ends up playing across a lot of things.
Yeah,
And I'm just afraid that when like you start typecasting, I don't know. I feel like all those movies end up being like those kind of corny, video gamey films.
sure.
I don't know. I guess I'm just
I think
scared that it's going to end up like a bad Fast and the Furious
hmm,
or a weird Resident Evil.
I feel like Justice Smith might be the bigger red flag in this situation.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck he's going to do.
Like, because if we're gonna compare track records, like, I mean, I guess Jurassic World. I mean, I did okay. So Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is one that they're listing here.
Mhm.
That's like the sequel to Jurassic World, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see the sequel. Jurassic World, I thought was good. The sequel, I feel like audience wise, I feel like it flopped.
Mm.
Because it just had no traction. Like it landed and left, and that was it.
Hmm.
Uh, and Detective Pikachu, like while I was entertained by that movie, it definitely wasn't. It was like a 5, like out of 10. Like
It definitely gets better towards the end. I genuinely believe that like the first 20 minutes of Detective Pikachu, I genuinely couldn't believe that somebody wrote that and then filmed it. Like some of the shit they
yeah,
say is just so bad. It was just like, what? Huh?
yeah,
Like
it's
why are
pretty
you
crazy.
writing like that? Like who? Like oh, I'm going to
Are they
call
doing
my
a
father
sequel?
on the cell phone. Oh, they're totally doing a sequel.
I mean,
There's no way. It was so successful.
it
Like
was really
bonkers
successful.
numbers.
I just didn't think Justice Smith like that's like the main role that I think of when I see him. Like I saw nothing acting wise stand out, you
Mm.
know. But I mean, this is also Dungeons and Dragons. Like how how high of a caliber are we looking for? You know,
I'm looking for Lord of the
um,
Rings, bro. I'm out here.
that's fair. I mean, Chris Pine can be Lord of the Rings for sure,
Yeah.
definitely. But it'll be interesting. I think this could be telling, like you said. But we have to. You know what it is? I like casting news, and I get excited about all that, and writers, directors, the whole 9 yards.
Mm.
But I always try to hold out until we see a trailer or some promo images.
Yeah.
Just because then we're gonna get like the real deal feel of what this good thing is gonna be.
Yeah, I agree. I still have hope for this. I just feel like the possibilities are getting it's murky in the water.
Mm. No,
But
it's understandable.
it could be that this ends up turning out to be amazing and that Borderlands turns out to suck.
Yeah,
Which honestly, that also has a high probability of being really bad, just with good actors.
sure,
Uh,
definitely. I
Unfortunately,
just hope
just the curse of video game film.
I just hope Borderlands isn't like Jumanji. Like I'm pretty sure we brought that up last time we talked about it.
Hmm.
It's like, please don't be Jumanji, but I feel
I'm,
like they won't do that.
I'm telling you,
Like
dude, they're months away from casting The Rock.
I feel like it's gonna be Batista. Like that's my thought. But if it's The Rock, oh boy, that's bad.
He's coming. I just feel it in my bones. Kevin Hart's gonna
If
be
it's
like, you know who you need? Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
if it's The Rock, then like I feel like he would have been a producer by now. But who knows?
Yeah, that's
He
fair.
loves to get his hands on the producer role, but we'll see what happens. I hope not. Um, but that pretty much wraps up our news this week. We're gonna get into our discussion topic now, which we're gonna be talking about the pilot for Cobra Kai.
Hmm.
This was a highly requested show amongst our friends, um, and I've seen most of the first season, uh, but John had not. So
Nah.
we jumped into the pilot this week, gave it a watch, and we're here to talk about it and what we think about the show because I think it's on season 4 now.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think so.
So it's been going on for a while, and it is uh, pretty. It has a big fan base. I'm like kind of surprised it grew into what it did, but yeah, we watched the pilot this week. Um, Now I'm a big fan of the original movie series. Um,
Yeah, great
so
films.
I was always like when I heard about this show. The show first came out on YouTube. Actually, it was
It was a
YouTube original.
YouTube premium. Yeah.
Yeah, so I never watched it when it first came out because I didn't have a YouTube Premium, and I didn't want to pay the $15 for YouTube. I was totally fine with the other content that I was watching. But when it finally got to Netflix, I ended up coming across it, and I got into it, and it's a very cool twist on like the original storyline of this franchise. And probably my favorite thing about it is that they have all the original actors back,
hmm
um, which I always thought was like a great thing. You know, it's like a minute, it's kind of a minute detail, but also like
It's the
I
most
just like
important
that.
detail.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I remember when I first watched this, I was like, are these the original actors? Like I couldn't tell. And
hmm
then looking into it, I was like, yeah, this is good. This is good. They care. So, um, I guess going over like the story arc of the episode, um, it all starts out with like the recap of like the final fight in the first movie, and it's going over how Daniel beat I don't know what is the guy's name, the main
Johnny.
dude's name, Johnny. Yeah, so he beats Johnny, and I love this first shot how like Johnny like lands on the ground after being beaten, and then it's like the flash forward where he's just like in bed and he's still beaten from life now. It's
Yeah.
like,
No, I
oh
totally. I think like this show does such a great job of making it so you don't even have to watch the original movie. If that
yes,
makes sense. Like if you liked the original movie, you'll get it. Like you'll get more out of this.
right,
But literally, all you need to know is that last scene from what's it called? From the Karate Kid.
yeah, yeah. And I think there's some things about the episode where it's like it's very on the nose,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels a little bit like fan fiction esque. Um, but I'm pretty sure this show was like produced and made by like actual fans of the original movie.
Yeah, that would
I
be
don't
my
think
guess.
I don't think it was pitched as like some like Hollywood studio just kind of threw it out there. I think that there were a group of fans that like started this, if I recall correctly, when the show first came out,
Yeah,
a
I
few
mean the
years back.
fact that it started on YouTube, I feel like definitely sets the
That
original vibe, if that makes sense.
yeah. Um, but I guess continuing, we're following Johnny throughout the whole episode, and how like his life is kind of in shambles. He's still living in his hometown. Uh, it's definitely like a very like peaked in high school vibe going on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's kind of sad, and uh, but like he's still kind of like that douche that he was in high school, you know.
Yeah, he's
But like,
violently racist.
yeah, and like, he's violently racist, but he's also just like he's obviously like angry at the world and like his position of where he's at. Like he's
Yeah,
definitely like a deadbeat, and like, but you also they do a very good job of laying out like his position, and like he is angry, and he is definitely racist. He also does kind of get beaten up by the world in a way. Like his job sucks.
mm-hmm.
Uh, he gets he gets fired from his job for being an idiot. Also, I mean, like it's not entirely his fault, but like the lady who he's working for is an asshole. But like he's just like a bad worker. He reacts in a terrible way, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's like very evident that the fight, like in the end of the Karate Kid, really set the tone for the rest of his life.
Yeah, it's like that was like the beginning of the downfall of his life.
Yeah.
It's like pretty nuts how it like parallels that. Um, and we find out that like he doesn't see his kid anymore. For God knows why. His stepdad has bailed him out of jail a bunch of times for getting into fights with people. Um, he ends up saving the new kid who moves in next door to him, who is like a Spanish kid. He, like you said, he's like violently racist. He calls this kid an immigrant off the bat. It's like, bro.
Yeah, which I really actually can't tell if it stems from the fact that he is just like a racist person, or if he has become racist due to the fact that Ralph Macchio beat the shit out of him 30 years ago.
Who knows?
Not that Ralph was an immigrant in that movie. I think he's from New Jersey. But like,
he is from New Jersey, yeah.
If I remember correctly, they probably threw some slurs at him in the movie anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually remember, but I wouldn't be surprised.
A movie in the 80s being politically correct? I doubt it.
Yeah, but it's pretty crazy how he sees this new neighbor kid in like the corner store or whatever, and the kid's about to get beat up by these other local kids who were trying to buy beer or whatever, and he blows up their spot, and it turns into like the Mr. Miyagi situation, from back in the day, where like Miyagi saved Daniel, and now Johnny's saving this kid from getting beat up by bullies. But of course, it goes the wrong way, and the way that Johnny's life would, and he gets arrested for beating up some kids outside the store.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's choking the shit out of that kid at the end.
Yeah, he literally looked like he was about to kill that kid at the end. But like, this is kind of like the last, like, almost the last straw. He goes into like a drunk frenzy, and like, he sees Daniel on TV. This is probably the corniest thing about the show, I feel like, at least in the beginning, from what I've seen. Like, he sees Daniel LaRusso on TV, and he owns like this LaRusso used car dealership franchise, and it's so like cheesy and corny. Of like, he's like living off the success of like his teenage year fame of how he beat the shit out of people with karate. Like,
yeah, that's fair. He's like chopping the prices.
Yeah, it's just like it feels very corny, but it's also like, okay, like I'm along with this, I guess. Happy to see Ralph Macchio came back for it though.
Yeah, honestly, and again, I feel like I said something potentially mean earlier about other actors, but like I really feel like Billy Zabka and Ralph Macchio weren't doing a whole lot.
No, I mean they really weren't.
Like, it's good to see them, taking this and like owning it and really coming back to it.
Yeah,
and like having so many people love it.
The last time I remember seeing Ralph Macchio in like anything other than Karate Kid was like that terrible Godzilla movie from the 90s. He was, I think it was Ralph Macchio. Maybe it wasn't.
Literally the only time I've seen Billy Zabka outside of Karate Kid was in How I Met Your Mother, where he literally plays Billy Zabka, the dude from Karate Kid.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the show also has a parallel for Billy Zabka about like his life as an actor in a way. Maybe. I don't know. But like I was saying with the story, he has this like drunk frenzy. He goes out drinking and driving. Terrible life choices by this guy.
Yeah, absolutely bonkers.
He does everything wrong, and he goes back to like the arena where he lost, and he's having like this flashback to when his sensei was choking him out. Like,
yeah, that was really fucking weird.
Yeah, that was from the beginning of the second Karate Kid. I remember that actually did happen in the movie.
Yeah,
which was nuts. But he's having this like flashback. Then his car gets hit. It has to get towed away. These teenage girls hit it, and they basically run away because he's like in a fucking frenzy of anger trying to rip the door open.
I mean, to be fair, good that they kind of ran away.
Yeah, seriously.
He would have gotten destroyed.
Like,
for being drunk out there, they would have been like, I don't know how you did it. You T-boned yourself.
Yeah, seriously. He got lucky that the tow truck driver didn't call the cops on him.
Yeah, big facts. But also, big question, what are these girls doing driving in like an arena parking lot? And like
Yeah,
they
I don't
hit the
know.
one fucking car in the parking lot.
It. I feel like they were on. I think he was on the road. Like he's outside. His car's outside the gate, but I guess it's somewhat in the
It
street.
it
Like
really feels like it's like off to the side. I think in the background you can see like the main road.
yeah, it's like
But yeah.
a very odd circumstance that like the car gets hit.
Yeah, I don't, and as much as like I do think the quality is very high, like you can feel that like yeah, this is like paid for by YouTube. Like it's not a
Yeah,
like a full scale production, if that makes sense.
yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Um,
so that was probably the only weird part. But yeah, continue.
yeah, I
Sorry.
felt like the acting was also very like YouTube-ish. Like you could
Yeah,
feel like it was kind of like that level of production, but neither here
yeah.
nor there.
I mean, this is the
Um,
best thing, like standalone wise, I guess that YouTube's really put out.
Definitely.
Because a lot of the other stuff relies very heavily on like the creator and like
Yeah,
this.
like the creators, like and how they, it's more of like popular off the clout of the creator,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, I agree. This like kind of stands on its own, and obviously it doesn't live on YouTube anymore. But
Yeah.
Netflix, I believe, produced starting on the third season.
Yes. Um, but after his car gets hit, the tow truck driver comes and it gets towed to the LaRusso body shop.
Hmm.
He's of course upset. He wants to move his car out of the body shop, and he can't do it in time before uh Danny shows up and sees him, and it's again it feels like this kind of corny vibe. Like Danny has to like confront him in this,
Yeah,
in the dealership. All the other he like calls over his other employees. He's like, this guy kicked in the face in high school. Like, bro,
stole his
relax.
girlfriend too.
Yeah, it's like I stole his girlfriend and I kicked him in the face, and oh yeah, his car's here now. It's like he's trying to offer him like a free deal,
Hmm.
uh, or like a deal on a new car. It's like I can't feel like they do a good job of, like I said, it's corny, but it kind of does paint Daniel LaRusso in a different light, from the movies, because he was always the hero, and here he looks like the dick because he's like just kind of, I don't want to say like over egoing him. I guess maybe I don't know.
It's definitely very 50-50. I think that I can't tell if he's being a dick because like he's just viewing his life differently.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he views him as Johnny as friends, and like they were literally never friends.
yeah, never.
Like he was violent and he kicked the shit out of. But like time, it's just time passed, right?
Yeah,
And like obviously, Danny doesn't view that karate tournament as like a more important milestone
right,
as Johnny, who I think like views it as like again like the turning point that started the downfall, which you can see
yeah,
reflected in that camera work you were talking about in the beginning, where it kind of like
right.
zooms into him on the ground and then he wakes up.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like he still is trying to be like a nice person. Like he offers to just do the repair for free.
Yeah,
Like he,
I, I,
I don't know.
I think it's like you said, like it's hard to tell if he's being a dick or not.
Yeah,
Um, but following Johnny up until this point, it's like this is all playing out, and you're like, as an audience member, in my mind, I'm thinking like, dude, like, just fuck off. Like, he clearly is like does not want to talk to you. But why would Danny notice that? Like, Danny's
yeah,
just trying to, you know, Danny's moved on, and Johnny
hmm,
hasn't. So of course, he's gonna look at it in a different way.
yeah. Which also is probably one of the coolest strengths about the show. Like it's really interesting to see the show told from like Johnny's perspective.
Yeah,
Just kind of get the different vibe of the whole like scenario, the whole movie franchise.
right. I think that's one of the definite perks too. It's like, it's good to see it from a different perspective, and it's also good because, um, I guess like we'll get into it now, but um, Johnny leaves the dealership, and this is kind of his decision. He's like I need to use the strengths that I have, and I'm gonna restart Cobra Kai, and like reopen the dojo. I'm gonna be the sensei,
Hmm.
and like he's gonna teach the kid who got beat up outside the store. And I think that's also a good parallel, not only showing like Johnny's story within this franchise, but it also shows like the different teachings of karate,
Mhm.
like because that was always like a thing, like a theme with like the original series. I felt like because
Yeah, it was definitely that karate is like a self defense thing per Mr. Miyagi,
yeah,
and like he puts it up on the wall at the end of the first episode. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
yeah, it's like Cobra Kai is like a very aggressive style of teaching,
Yeah.
while Miyagi was like it's his own like orthodox kind of peaceful defense mechanism, and he
Mhm.
had his own different teachings. Like Cobra Kai feels like I guess the traditional dojo that you'd run into, but it's also like murder your enemies. Like it's super aggressive.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's cool. I think it's such a cool like different look. Um, and I love that we're following Johnny
Yeah.
because it's just different. It's just a different take on the world.
Yeah, I
Uh,
definitely agree.
do you now? I know a lot of people were hyping the show up to you to watch it. Now, after the pilot, were you intrigued at all to continue the show?
You know, I think I was. I think that
Boy.
it's like it's short enough. Like the episodes feel pretty palatable
Yeah,
that you can kind of just like slam them back. And the pacing was really well done, I think, as well. So I think I could definitely carry it for a few more episodes and see if it like hard hooks me. I feel like
right.
it's just a, like it was the karate was good. I like seeing him beat those kids up.
Yeah, yeah. The fighting choreography is pretty solid.
Yeah. So like if they can just keep up the momentum, like I think the first episode sets up some things that like I really could care less about.
Sure.
Like the person that hit his car being Danny's kid, or
Yeah.
like she was in the back seat and like she really wasn't a part of it, but like she was.
Right.
Like I don't really care about that. Like I don't I don't need to see that come to fruition.
Sure. It's kind of just more piling on the fact that like
Yeah, it's
Danny's
like
this haunting person in
bullshit.
his life.
Yeah, and like I would like to. I'm interested though to see how Danny reacts when he finds out that Cobra Kai is back and like what Cobra Kai stands for is back.
Yeah.
And
It's I like I said, I watched most of the first season, and I think it does develop into an interesting like setup for the story, like because Danny does say in a dealership, he's like Cobra Kai's gone for the best,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
God, right? It's like, all right, bro, like I don't know, but the show definitely develops into something cool, and while I think the production value definitely it's high up, like it's definitely solid, but you can see kind of like the YouTube esque of it,
Mhm.
if you want to call it that. I feel like I want to continue it. I want to try to get to season 3 where Netflix picks up and see, you know, how does Netflix elevate the show, if at all,
Yeah. I agree.
if they just let it keep going the way it is.
Definitely.
Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the Cobra Kai pilot. I enjoyed it,
Yeah, I
um,
agree.
and I'm glad this story is kind of getting a revisit from a different perspective because that's kind of refreshing. Uh, most people, I feel like most studios would return to this and be like, let's talk about Daniel LaRusso and his car dealership now. It's like, no, I don't want
Yeah.
to. I want a fresh take. So this is definitely fresh
Yeah, I
uh,
agree.
for me. But that pretty much wraps up our review um, and episode 28 of Cinema Scrutiny this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about another Netflix property, which is called Space Sweeper on Netflix. And it's like a sci-fi movie, which has been getting some decent reviews recently. And I was actually, John brought this up to me to review it, but I was scrolling looking for Cobra Kai this week, and I saw it in the Netflix library. I was like, that looks really cool. Like, when I add that to my list, and then John brought it up today to talk about. I was like, yes. So,
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I mean, it's a Korean film, and
right,
to me, it's just very interesting to see more like ambitious film coming out of non-U.S. countries, I guess.
Yeah.
Like especially with in relation to sci-fi, like a lot of the budget for that type of film is like in like the set and like the CGI and production, and you really don't see too much of that
Right.
outside of like the U.S. China has been starting to do it. Like Double World was really good. That had like a
Hmm.
really great, in my mind, really good CGI. Um, but yeah, I'm just I've also been hearing good reviews about it, and I think it would be a fun watch. So we shall see.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get into it next week. So you guys should watch along this week, and you can catch our review for it next week, episode 29.
Mm-hmm.
But that pretty much wraps up everything this week. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, um, and let us know, you know, what you guys thought of some of the news, or what you guys think of Cobra Kai if you watch. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it this week for Cinema Scrutiny.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.